What is a suitable non-destructive method for detecting surface cracks in aluminum castings and forgings? The dye penetrant inspection method. Briefly describe the steps to be taken when performing a dye penetrant inspection. Clean the metal surface, dry it completely and apply the penetrant, then remove the penetrant, dry the part and apply the developer. Inspect and interpret the results. Briefly describe the procedure for performing a magnetic particle inspection. Clean, magnetize the part and then apply the ferromagnetic particles to the area to be inspected. If a discontinuity is present, the magnetized particles will form a pattern in the approximate shape of the discontinuity. What is the general rule for using self-locking nuts? Do not use self-locking nuts at joints that are subject to rotation. What type of cable is used in primary flight control systems? Extra flexible 7x19 cable, minimum diameter 1/8. How can the correct grip length of a bolt be determined? The grip length should be equal to the total thickness of the bolted material. What is the smallest cable that can be used in primary control systems? 1/8 inch in diameter. What should be the depth of penetration when making a fillet weld? What should be the depth of penetration when making a fillet weld? 25 to 50% of the thickness of the base metal. What should be the width of the weld bead and depth of penetration when making a butt weld? Bead 3 to 5 times the thickness of the base metal. Penetration 100%. What system is used to identify AN-type aircraft bolts? Cut markings on the bolt heads. What are the steps for solution heat treating aluminum alloys? The alloy must be heated for a specified period and then rapidly quenched to a relatively low temperature. In what state is aluminum alloy immediately after solution heat treating and quenching? The alloy is in a soft state, so the material must be naturally aged or precipitation hardened. What is done to prevent certain aluminum alloy rivets from becoming hard after heat treating and quenching? Store in a refrigerator at a temperature lower than 32 degrees Fahrenheit. The rivets will remain soft for several days. What are the characteristics of a cold weld? Improper penetration and cold lapse. It appears rough and irregular and it's a weak weld. What tool is used to measure the outside dimensions of shafts, the thickness of sheet metal stock, the diameter of drills, and for many other similar applications? Outside micrometer calipers. What should be used to a visual inspection of a weld? A magnifying glass of at least 10 power. What are the basic principles of magnetic particle inspection? Consists of magnetizing a part and then applying ferromagnetic particles to the surface area to be inspected. If a discontinuity is present, the magnetic lines of force will show the discontinuity. What are the principles of penetrant inspection? Consists of a penetrating liquid entering the surface opening and remaining in that opening. What coating systems are used by industry to identify steel and wrought aluminum products? A numerical index is used to identify steel. Aluminum alloys are designated by a 4-digit index system broken into 3 groups. How can the correct torque for a bolt be determined? The standard torque table should be used as a guide in tightening nuts, bolts, and screws whenever specific torque values are not called out in the manufacturer's procedures. What is the difference between a general-purpose bolt and a close-tolerance bolt? Close-tolerance bolts are machined more accurately than general-purpose bolts. What is strain hardening? Cold working of metal performed at temperatures below the critical range.